how disability insurance carriers or plans can misuse the multiple sclerosis expanded disability status scale and use it as a tool to deny or terminate your disability insurance benefits. Did you know that multiple sclerosis is a central nervous system disorder? And it involves inflammation, demyelinization, and degeneration. And those changes can lead to disability. Now, physicians will often assess disability in MS patients by using something called the Expanded Disability Status Scale, or EDSS. This scale assigns numeric values to disability when assessing functionality. There are, in my view, some problems with this scale, and those problems will play into a disability insurance carrier or plan's hands if they're looking for a reason to deny or to terminate an ERISA MS disability insurance claim. The EDSS typically assigns a higher numeric value to greater levels of physical disability when evaluating a person's functional capacity. And they're evaluating the cerebellar, brainstem, sensory, bowel and bladder, visual, and cerebral systems. However, MS can cause cognitive and fatigue issues that are not measured similarly. Now, if you have a physical disability in any of these systems, you're going to get a higher disability rating than if your symptoms are more cognitive or fatigue-based. That's not fair, and disability carriers seize on this scale deficiency to say that you're not disabled. Now, while many of my clients do have physical symptoms like problems with balance, coordination, or stiffness issues, they tell me that in their mind, what's really disabling them is the fatigue and the cognitive issues. Fatigue and cognitive issues can be hard to quantify, and you can get a lower scale on the EDSS because of those problems. Now, cognitive and fatigue issues can also be intertwined with depression and anxiety. Many disability insurance policies or plans have mental nervous policy limitations that will limit the payment of disability benefits to just 2 years if the disability is caused or contributed to by depression and anxiety. This can also play into a denial or termination of benefits after 2 years. Now, I think it's crucial that you have your doctor fill out an MS residual functional capacity form and not this EDSS. You've got the burden of proving that you're disabled, as that term is defined by your particular policy or plan. The disability carrier plan is going to send your doctor a generic attending physician statement form called an APS form. It doesn't ask the right questions. It doesn't ask the right questions on purpose because they don't want to know the right answer. So I prefer, as a supplement, that we attach the Social Security MS residual functional capacity form. That form, in my view, asks the right questions, and it quantifies what you can do in terms of how long you can sit, stand, walk at one time, how much you can lift, what problems you have with balance in terms of stooping, standing, walking, whether or not you have problems with bilateral manual dexterity, how often you have to use the restroom, for example, how long you're going to be in the restroom, whether or not you need to take breaks that are more frequent than the breaks that are normally allowed in the workplace. How many days per month would you miss per work, and how much would you be off task? In other words, what's the impact of pain, side effects of medication, or those sorts of symptoms that can interfere with your ability to maintain the pace of production requirements of work. The EDDS scale doesn't address, I think, in meaningful terms, your functional restrictions and limitations. In fact, I think it requires that your doctor explain the results of the EDSS and their APS opinions, because disability carriers are going to seize on whichever one they perceive as being conflicting or inconsistent. So I think the EDDS can be a trap, and I would, quite frankly, would prefer that your doctor do, as a supplement to the APS form, the residual functional capacity form, and really indicate that that's the basis of their opinion regarding your disability, and that there aren't any inconsistencies between the two, because the EDDS just doesn't measure all of the things that impact your particular disability claim. If you have any questions about your rights to long-term disability benefits, call me today at 727-894-3188 for a complimentary consultation. I can help you regardless of where you live in the United States and regardless of who your disability carrier or plan might be. 727-894-3188.